Hello, Mr. Gheorghiu.
Hello, how are you?
Good, good. So we are now in Vienna, 1986.
1986. Well, it was a very important tournament organized by IBM, and it was, the chief there was the chancellor from Austria. The organizing was exceptional, very, very well. And
the chief of the tournament, you mean, or
no. I mean, it was under his
patronage.
Patronage of the prime minister, no? The chancellor.
Chancellor, okay.
And it was excellent, of course, and it was played by the Intercontinental Hotel in Vienna and so on. The conditions were excellent. The field also, a lot of very strong players, coach, Karpov and so on, Finally, I came together with Karpov's third force. Was very good result, but I lost unexpectedly against someone, and I couldn't win the championship. It happened. The tournament was very, very strong, so third place was also a fantastic result.
Yes.
In such a field. And we had some very nice games. One of them is this one against Zueger. It was very important theoretically because we played the normal variation where he tried to present a new move, a new line in some moment. We'll see.
Zueger is from which country?
He is from Switzerland. He
was from Switzerland.
So after bishop g2, bishop g7, knight c3, knight c6. Well, everything is symmetrical, as you can see.
Yes.
a3, a6, this is the best line for black. You have to equalize, first of all, with black, and then try to fight, if it's possible, So, rook b8, b4, takes in b4, takes in b4, b5, c takes b5, a takes b5. Well, before, in some other games, white played a new move instead of b4 immediately. They played queen a4. It was a well-known game that I won finally against the American Grandmaster Seirawan and a lot of other games. But the line is okay for black. If both of them play all right, white and black, the game is more or less even. Black has very little chance to win. But if white tries a little bit, then it can be very interesting and everything can happen, as in our game. And here, the normal two moves are knight f3 or knight h3 or even e3 trying to play d4 later on. This is the normal lines. See? And here the first surprise, he took in c6. It was a new idea. White tries to play without the white bishop, which is not a very nice idea, but it was new and very, popular in that time. You see? Yeah. So he tried it, and of course, queen c2. He tries to have some good game in the center. And trying to provoke some weaknesses, which is very difficult because black has no weaknesses at all in such a position, and play positionally, a normal position, let's say, But already, in my opinion, black is a little bit better here, see? Because you have two bishops, and we'll see the result later on. So, okay, after knight f3, the new move, bishop h3, very normal also, because you
block
you provoke some weaknesses again, because black wants to play immediately bishop g2. If he has time to play bishop g2 and take in f3, the structure of the white pawns will be very bad, and then the game will be almost lost for white already, you see. So he has to try to complicate a little bit, and the best move is knight g5. But after knight g5, the bishop doesn't go back. If the bishop goes back, the game is more or less even. He has time to play h4 and then play back the knight. After h6, knight h3, knight f4, and the game is more or less even. But here, in this position, you can play bishop g2, very good move, because now after rook g1, the white king has to stay in the center. That is a big difference.
No more castle.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now after bishop d5, it's clear. Black is better without any problem, You have now to demonstrate how much how big is your advantage. but nothing more. It's clear the black is better, you know.
But was
So
not,
now, instead of f3, the first important moment was to play e4 immediately. After e4, instead of f3. After e4, h6, it's clear that black is immediately better because he has to accept the challenge, take a pawn. I mean, after e4, h6, e takes d5, h takes g5. He can take a pawn in g5 or in c6, but the white king will be in such a position that the black is better anyway, you see.
so what is the next move here? What is the next move after h6?
h6, he has to take in d5, the only move, because if he goes back with the knight in f3,
Yes.
you go back with the bishop in e6, and he has too many weaknesses already, you know. The move e4 is bad already, you know, if you go back with the knight. But now, if you take in d5, black takes there. If you take the bishop there, c takes d5 or knight takes d5, clearly better for black, pardon. Position is probably lost already for white, you know, because of the king. The king is very bad on e1, no?
Yes.
And if instead of this, if you take the pawn from c6, you see, you can leave the pawn in g5, you can play finally, let's say, queen d6 or queen c7, and it's clear, black is much better because the king in e1 is hopeless, you see. If you accept the fact that the king is so bad, you know, the advantage, you know, in this opening is clear for black, no, it's much better for black.
Yeah.
So, okay, he didn't like the idea and he played, you know, quietly f3, but after f3, the game again is very good for black because after queen d7, now after e4, you don't play h6, you play simply bishop e6, and okay, much better for black, you see.
Yeah.
In any case.
Yes.
So from now on, he tries to complicate a closed position, you know, I mean, he plays bishop e3,
Yeah.
doesn't move the pawns. But now, again, it's clear that black has an advantage, a clear advantage, and he could seize already the initiative, you know, immediately after the opening. Immediately after the opening, the advantage is clear for black, you see. Rook a8, we take advantage, we have the a file, we are better, and you threaten already to come very quickly with our rook in a3, for instance, later on. So king f2, and now rook f3, rook a3. After rook a3, it was already threatened to take in c3 and you lose the queen.
Yes.
See? So bishop d2 is almost the only move, you see?
Yeah.
So now, after h6, knight e4, of course, the only move, otherwise you lose the knight, you see. So after knight e4, we take in e4. Now he's forced to take like this, no? Again, the structure is bad, no?
Yeah.
It's clear. And now we move the bishop. Now we look. The immediate threat is maybe f5 right now, you see, to open completely the game, you see?
Yeah.
So has again to accept the challenge and, you know, to continue like in our game. I mean, rook a1. But after rook a1, we can complicate again decisively. And after this move that we played, I played, queen a7 check, the continuation is forced. Bishop e3 is the only move. Otherwise, you lose a rook if you don't play bishop e3. After the check in a7, we attack twice the rook from a1.
Exactly, yes.
So he has to play bishop e3. So the continuation now is forced.
Yeah.
So now black wins in any position. But the most interesting one and the most beautiful one is like this. Rook takes e3. Everything is forced. Now queen takes e3 is forced. So now queen takes e3 check. No? He has to take. And we take back in c3. Now we see the result. We gave a rook for two pawns, for two bishops.
Yeah.
I mean, we have two bishops against a rook. The position is completely winning for black, you know. So now we have only to realize in the best way the advantage, you see. So rook c1, bishop takes b4, rook takes c6, and now, from now on, we have to realize the big advantage, bishop d6.
Yeah.
Well, it's not very complicated, but it's instructive, it's nice. So d4, rook a8. Okay, we take the 5 again, you see. e5, probably the only move. No? So, rook a3 check. Now I play, no, rook b4, pardon, bishop b4 first, yeah. Rook d1, and now checking the bishop d5, of course. Rook c7 check, has to go back, and now e6. Okay, now look at the position. Everything is fixed now. Black has 2 bishops and very strong attacking chances, you know. So the game is completely decided, you know. Black has to win in a few moves.
But wasn't better here for white to put the rook, to try to exchange the rooks?
But he has no time because black can play bishop c4.
Here. When you have the check.
You know, it's completely hopeless, you know. Even if we are not forced to take, first of all.
Yeah.
We can play rook a2 and then we threaten bishop c4. Terrible also, no? But even if we take in d3, it's completely winning for black because we take, for instance, in d3, he takes in d3 and we play simply bishop a3 and we push the pawn. b4, b3 and so on, you know.
Yes.
Hopeless, completely hopeless. No?
True.
So now he has to wait a little bit to see what happens and in a few moves he'll resign. Bishop c3, e3, bishop c4. Now we prepare the last part of the game, you see.
Yeah.
After this, everything is controlled. The 2 bishops are terrible, you know. And in 1 move or 2 moves, we have, you know, the decisive attack. We'll see. So king f2 has to wait again, check, no? There. And now bishop d2, e4, he has to play e4. Now check in e3, no? King h1 first, no?
He resigned here.
Yeah, king h1, and after king h1, bishop e2 is mate. In f3, or he loses rook and afterwards mate, you know. So it was a disaster after the opening, you see.
Yeah.
But it could happen like this because black played in a very instructive way, you see. Small advantage, bigger advantage, decisive advantage, as you can see. Everything was possible because of this new move, bishop takes c6, which is not okay now. Gives already a small advantage for black immediately after the opening.
Yeah, but
he wanted to try something. Yes. Okay, now we have the result, of course. No.
Not a good experiment.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.
Yes, a nice game, of course. Not too complicated, but very nice.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.